I just finished drinking the finest wine, the finest top tier wine, because I think I might have
Breath of the Wild of wine.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I might have found like a game that's come into like my new top 10 games of all time, because I just finished playing God of War, the new God of War.
Okay.
And that is it's like incredible.
Yeah, everyone's said
every sense of the words, and I'm just like, fuck. I finished it like 2 days ago, and it's been a while since I've just finished a video game. I'm like, I don't know what to do with my life now. Like, like I just feel an emptiness, and I just looked at like other, because after playing God of War, I was just like, I wanted to play some other games, and I just looked through my game list, and I was like, none of this is doing anything for me. I don't know what to do.
None of this excites me anymore.
None of this excites me anymore. How on earth do I become a gamer again?
You had the post-nut clarity of games.
Yeah,
like, I don't know what to do anymore.
I don't know.
You know what you should do? Play Skull and Violet.
No, that would just make it worse, because then I would just start playing it, and I'm like, this isn't good.
No, dude, because you'll understand. The story is really good.
How long is the
and the music's really good.
How long has the PS5 been out for?
Like
a year?
2 years.
No, 2 years now.
2 years?
It's 2 years. Because it came out during pandemic.
Has it really?
Didn't
I
it?
thought it was like 2.5.
Yeah, I think it's like 2.5 years. Yeah.
I just realized I'm like, I've had a PS5 and I've only gamed on it like one time.
Bro, God of War, I think you would really like it.
Do I need to play the previous God of War?
Yes, you do.
See, that's the problem, is that I gotta go and play the old one. I'm like, oh.
Have you played any of them?
No. It's all like the second one. Basically, have you played stuff like The Last of Us or Uncharted or stuff like that? Because it's kind of like in the same kind of vein where it is like kind of like a cinematic experience.
Yeah, I've
just
seen
with
a lot
gameplay.
of it. I've seen a lot of it. It looks really good.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I have the heart of me to go and play the old one just to play the new one.
Well, actually, like the old one, I think the old one is is a fantastic game by itself as well. And by itself, it's still a fantastic game. You're not losing anything by playing the old one.
Yeah.
The only thing, like the old one builds on these like gameplay ideas and stuff like that. And one of the biggest criticisms of the old one was there was just not enough variation in like the boss battles and 2 enemy types, and kind of like the gameplay itself. And that's just because with the first one, they were completely rebuilding the franchise from the ground up. So I actually really liked, the new, like when they introduced like new gameplay, it's a bit slower, a bit heavier, but I think that's the perfect introduction to this new game, which takes all of the ideas from this old game and then builds on everything, basically.
Okay, that's good. Then.
So when playing the old one, you'll get like the freshness of like, oh, this feels good, and then just as it's about to get boring, then you finish the game, and then you can go to the new one where all these new ideas start getting iterated and added on, and I think it's like the perfect journey as well, from playing like the first one to the second one, because one, the story's amazing in both games, and I'm surprised that they only did 2 games, because I expected it to be a trilogy of sorts, but no, it's after 2 games, the entire story arc is ended now, so it's the entire story arc of the Nordic gods, this Nordic arc per se, and. Yeah, honestly, one of the best video game stories I've ever experienced.
Damn. Now you got to finish Elden Ring so you can find out what game of the year is this year.
Yeah, okay, here's the thing. Even if I finish Elden Ring, I don't think it could beat God of War for me, because you know me. Story, important aspects, of course.
There's a lot of story in Elden Ring.
I heard there's a lot of story in Elden Ring.
I know what it is, but
tell me the story in Elden Ring.
There was a lot. I'll let you know when I finish.
There's a ring of some kind, I guess.
Because here's the thing. What playing God of War made me realize, and this is.
Did you want to play a movie?
Huh?
Did you want to?
No.
No, I would play Death Stranding for that.
Actually, the opposite. It made me realize, okay, I actually do really care about gameplay, but like, okay, so let me break this down, right? So there are some very much Elden Ring Souls-like bosses in God of War that are really, really challenging. But you really have to, it's like a side quest, right? So it's not the main quest story.
Optional boss.
It's optional bosses.
Yeah.
So the hardest bosses in the game have nothing to do with the mainline story, right?
Oh, that's good. I like it when you do that.
And basically, God of War was one of those games that I enjoyed so much that I wanted to complete. Like I 100%ed the game, which is
Ooh.
only the second game in my life that I've ever 100%ed, which just shows how much.
What?
Wait, what's your first one?
Huh? My first one is Tales game, Tales of Symphonia.
What the fuck? Wait, before that you'd never 100% of the game?
No. And
What?
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll get to that. I'll get to that because what happened is I would complete the story and I'm like, okay, done. Why I don't need to play this game anymore. Right?
You never thought, wow, this game is fun. I wonder if I should just do the rest of the game.
No. That's my point, right? Because what I really liked about God of War is that you can do like one thing. Side quests are fucking incredible. They have as much impact into your emotions and the story. I feel like as much as mainline quest lines, right? That's one thing that makes a really, really special game. That's why everyone loves The Witcher 3 and stuff like that. God of War has the same kind of philosophy where you can do the mainline quests, but the side quests are, in my opinion, just as high quality as the mainline quests. So I wanted to do every single aspect of this game. And so by being really, really high quality, it tricked me into doing the optional bosses, right? Because otherwise I would have no interest in doing these optional hard bosses because I'm here for the story. But because the quality of the story was so high, it tricked me into wanting to do the optional bosses. And in that process, I've really, really fucking enjoyed my time just challenging myself and just, doing like the whole Souls kind of repeat, die. And after about 20 fucking tries, you finally get that boss and like, that feels fucking great.
Yeah.
I know I wouldn't have done that if there wasn't a storyline to play through, right? It's like with gameplay, in order for me
like
to
you want it to be immersed in rather than just tacked on at the end.
I need to know that there's a payoff at the end, other than just an intrinsic payoff,
isn't the payoff?
What the fuck? Wait, so you just can't, you play a game and the only point of playing the game is so that you know the ending's good?
Yeah, so I know that.
What?
So I know that
What?
I get rewarded with something. Most of the time, it's story.
Isn't the payoff the fact that you 100% complete the game?
But you like fighting games, right?
I mean, do
you not like play a game? You're like, oh, this mechanics are fun. I want to keep playing this. You're like, God, I hope this is paying off soon. I'll find out.
I think fighting games are different because I think competitive games are different because you get the satisfaction of beating a human opponent, right? Whereas in Souls-like games, I've really, really enjoyed the bosses, but there's even though I feel really, really satisfied, there's always this part missing where I want to know I'm working towards something. I want to know I'm working towards a storyline or, a cutscene or something.
Is self-improvement not something you're working towards? Is that not valuable?
That's why I could never really get into competitive games.
When I played like Elden Ring, I'm like, I really enjoyed the aspect of understanding the game mechanics and getting better at doing it. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed getting better at it. I didn't necessarily care about what I was getting, why I was getting.
I enjoyed that as well, but it's not the core reason I would ever play a game.
Okay.
Because I can appreciate it, but
Well, yeah,
it's kind of like
a plus alpha,
you
right?
need to trick me into
I agree.
getting me to care about it.
I'm not going to just get better at any kind of thing that allows me to
Yeah.
get better. Like there needs to be something else there.
Which is why I'm really curious to see how you react to God of War, right? Because I think God of War is like, I've never seen such a perfect marriage of gameplay and story that blends so seamlessly. God of War got me to care about gameplay because it's so seamlessly blended in with the combat.
So what we're saying is there's a chance.
It blended so seamlessly in with the story that it actually got me to care about the gameplay.
So there's a chance that Connor might actually care about the story.
I'm wondering if it could do the impossible and get Connor to care about the story because it got me to care about the gameplay.
Wow.
It got me to 100% the game. I fucking love the gameplay, love the mechanics. It got me to learn, like, it's one of those gameplay mechanics that's easy to pick up but really, really hard to master when you get to like some of the really tougher optional bosses and stuff like that. And it got me to really care about that, which I would never usually spend this many hours like learning the mechanics of the gameplay. But I did it because the story was amazing and I wanted to grind through the story and I wanted to experience as much of this world and as much of these characters as I could. Santa Monica Studio have written and have like built up in this world, I wanted to experience and just spend more time with them. And that's why I wanted to grind through the gameplay, was because it was just such a pleasure to spend time in this world and the story. I'm wondering if we could get you to care about the story and the world building.
That's a tall order.
I heard the story is very complicated.
First one is very.
First one's simple, and the second one I heard was very like complicated.
I mean, I'm used to JRPG storylines. This is a simple ass story, man.
We've played 13 Sentinels. It's fine.
Okay, JRPG storylines. We're like, oh, what do you mean you didn't read the full Wikipedia page before starting this arc? And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm not going to go out and Google shit.
Yeah,
just let me play the game. Like if I
I want to watch Connor play 13 Sentinels so bad now.
If this game requires you to like study outside of the game or read shit outside of the game, then I think it's failed as a game.
Oh no,
like a story.
It's not at all. In fact, I've way preferred the second game because the story was a bit more complicated. There were a lot more aspects.
Connor,
to it.
you forget, Gaunt's a Fate fan.
Yeah, I love
he's
that.
Used to this shit.
I love
you just
that.
want shit that
But
doesn't make sense.
it's not even complicated. I don't think it's like. I'm just thinking because like the first game was about as simple as you can get. Okay, let me tell you the story of the first game. Okay, so Kratos is a dad in this one. He has a wife. His wife dies, and his wife says, "Please spread my ashes on the highest peak on the realms." And the first game is them going to the highest realm. And then spreading her ashes. That's the game.
That's nice. That's hype.
Yeah.
I like that.
Nice sentiment.
Yeah, that's easy. Easy. Second game, it's about
time travel comes in. Multiple dimensions.
So there's Kratos Blue, right? Yeah. So Kratos
Super Saiyan Kratos.
Yeah. The second game is more about, well, Kratos doesn't want to go to war because even though he's the god of war, he doesn't really want to go to war.
I respect it.
And then inevitably they find he ends up going to war. Yeah. And that's a very simplified version of the events, but that's basically what happens. Okay, they needed to find a reason for conflict to happen, and that's why I think the second game is a bit more like has more moving parts. But at the end of the day, it's compared to like some other movies or some other stories. I think the fucking MCU is more complicated than God of War. So it's not a complicated story.
Yeah, the MCU is not complicated out of design. It's complicated because they're trying to milk it, and then now it's getting out of hand. Yeah, and also it's shit.
Yeah, like if you can follow shit like Game of Thrones or most TV shows, God of War is not that complicated at all. It can be if you like go into like the lore and like the world building and everything like that, but in terms of like the core story, it's fine. It's fine.
That makes sense.
Your monkey brain can follow along. Don't worry about it.